Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is finally time. It has been so long awaited. I am continuing the 151 Pokemon challenge and we are on 004, which is Charmander. I have been having an existential crisis for a few days. To give you some context, 2 days ago was the US election, so yeah. It's also like 75 degrees in November and I live in upstate New York. Overall, the state of the world is just a little bit concerning to me. My whole point is that I have been coping, okay? To cope, I craft. I recently picked up cross stitching. This is so relaxing. If you don't cross stitch but you like crafts like this, definitely pick it up because it's actually so easy. This is my first time ever cross stitching, so I'm like taking it slow. I've been working on it for a couple days, but I've been doing it like just before bed when I'm like really tired, so then I just end up going to sleep. But this is all I have right now. I didn't record any of the progress. I did kind of just dive right into crocheting Charmander. So I do have Charmander's head all done. That's what I started first. I also did some face shaping right here, if you can tell. It kind of makes the nose protrude outwards a little bit, and then like this is where the eyes will be, like right above the face shaping. I did take a picture on my tablet and sketch the eyes out. I'll show you guys. Now don't judge, the goal was not for it to be perfect, okay? But here's my sketch of the eyes. I think that's how I'm gonna do them. I basically just do this to get the scale of the eyes, to figure out like how big I need them to be. I like count the rows on the picture of how big they should be, if that makes any sense. I went ahead and sketched out on some paper how big I wanted the eye to be. This is just like the general shape. It'll be like this. I didn't bother doing the other one. I think that'll work well. I just gotta cut it out with felt first to see. That's basically my next step. I'm gonna use this as a stencil to cut out some felt pieces. Okay, I've only done the white part, but I'm wondering if that is too small or too far apart. Alright, so it's a few days later. Here's where we're at the moment. I haven't got much done besides the eyes. I am feeling a little bit discouraged at the moment because if you look closely, they're not even. And ever since I noticed that, I felt a little bit discouraged and a little bit just like, ugh, really, I have to redo those. I posted a video talking about how they're uneven. A lot of people were like, just leave it, just leave it. It looks really good. It's really bothering me, so I know like I just have to redo it. And it seemed like a little bit of a daunting task, if I'm honest. So I kind of took a small break. I think I did figure out what was like uneven about it. At first I'm like, I don't understand how I made them so uneven because all of the pieces were completely even. So what I do is like I cut one eye out. I cut all of the felt out for one eye, and then like I literally used those pieces as like a stencil to cut out the other eyes. So they were all like 100% even when I cut out the pieces, and I'm like, I don't understand how this happened. I think it just happened like in the mix of sewing. You know, when you sew, it kind of like pulls and tugs and kind of morphs things. So I genuinely think that is the cause of why this is so uneven. And I do think it is this black part on this eye that I don't like. So look very closely right here, the shape of this, and then you can see this one. You can see this outer white space is much smaller on this eye than on this eye. This one kind of goes inwards. I think the way I sewed it on just definitely got like kind of pushed and shoved and pulled and whatnot. It's definitely like slightly shifted this way more than this one was, and this one looks a lot better. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to like literally just cut off both of them and start fresh because like I said, I do use one eye to trace out the other one. Or not like trace it, but like I cut around it. Like I literally use it to cut around the felt to make the same exact shape so they're completely symmetrical. I am gonna just have to redo both eyes because I don't want to take the chance that I cut out another eye and it's not completely symmetrical, you know what I mean? So I am gonna have to start fresh on the eyes, which is really disappointing because these actually take quite a long time. And you might be thinking, if you've been following along with this challenge for a while, I thought you got a Cricut. Like I thought you got a Cricut to help you cut these out. I did, but I haven't figured out how to like make my own designs. I like tried once with Bulbasaur. It really discouraged me, if I'm honest, because I just like I tried cutting out a bunch of different shapes and it just wasn't cutting out the shape that I designed. It wasn't as smooth as if I just cut it out myself. Like I was getting better quality cuts by literally just hand cutting. I've still just been hand cutting the felt instead of designing the eyes on the Cricut. If you design your own felt eyes, you can leave some tips down below for me. But yeah, I haven't quite figured it out. I got kind of discouraged. I haven't really played around with it much, to be honest. That's where we're at. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with it tonight. I just wanted to hop on and update you guys. In the midst of the last few days where I haven't been working on Charmander, I have made a little Pachaco pattern. This pattern is probably definitely up for free on my website by the time I post this video. So if you're a Sanrio girly and you love Pachaco, definitely go check out the free pattern on my website. I'll link that down below. Hi guys, it's been a couple weeks since the last time I worked on Charmander, and that is because I had a custom order I had to get done, and that custom order took me a little bit longer than I anticipated. I basically started Charmander just when I had like a little bit of downtime on my hands, and now I have a little bit of downtime on my hands again prior to me starting a sponsorship, so bear with me. Tonight my goal is to basically chop these off and cut out new ones. Alright, so here we are back to square one, looking beautiful. I did save the one eyeball that I liked so that I can use it as reference. So now we're just going to attempt to cut out 2 more eyes that look like this. I have 2 eyes all cut out. I did start sewing them on, but I'm learning from my prior mistakes. It's 1 in the morning and I'm feeling tired and I don't want to do this anymore. So I'm stopping because I got a little frustrated sewing this one on and now I want to redo it. So I'm taking that as my hint that I'm too tired to continue. So yeah, we're done for the night. I feel like I'm like gaslighting myself right now because are the previous eyes better than these ones? They better not be.
2,000 years later.
So this is Christmas.
That is how I feel now that all of my commissions are finally done and I can crochet whatever I want. So that means I can officially crochet Charmander. I did officially make a new set of eyes. They were all sewn on. This is them, of course. So now I just have to work on literally everything else. I think next I'm gonna do the body. I feel like that makes the most sense. For reference, I do think I want to do a similar like sitting down position that I did with Bulbasaur, but the arms are going to be a little bit different. For Bulbasaur, I kind of crocheted them into the body, and for Charmander, I'm going to have them like separate from the body. So let's go ahead and see what I can come up with for the body. So here's the body I made. I don't know if you can tell super well, but this side like kind of curves out a little bit. Originally, I did that for the belly. I kind of wanted him to have a little belly, but after looking at them together, that just doesn't look right. However, when I turn it around the other way so that the belly is on the back side, so like his butt, I feel like that's much more dragon slash lizard-esque. I'm also confident that that'll make a nice like transition for the tail. I don't know if I'm like 100% on this yet. It does look really weird like this. Like his body looks massive compared to his head. I don't know if I want him to have more of a neck, like I want it to be longer. I really think I'm gonna need to crochet some like hands or legs first to really get the vision. But I did spend a long time on this, so I'm gonna go with this for now. And if I do see I want to make any adjustments, I'll do that after I do like the arms and legs. I think I'm gonna play with like the thighs and the feet next. Okay, so I made this foot and just no, absolutely not. I originally did want this little like yellow foot pad in the center. For some reason, I'm just not loving the way I did it. I have another idea, thankfully, that I might try next time. I'm not really sure what else it is, but I'm just not loving it. Like I hate it. Oh yeah, I also made this thigh, but this was just like a really simple, like nothing exciting whatsoever. It's just like a little circle-ish thing. It's just gonna go on the side of the body for like a transition for the foot, you know? It's looking a little tiny, right? I don't know. That's my only thought at the moment, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to make it a little bit bigger. I am just gonna do like a quick run through, so I don't think I'm gonna include the yellow pad on the next go around because I don't even know if the bigger one's gonna work. I don't know. We're just gonna do something like quick and see. Little experiment, I guess. Okay, so I made a new foot without like the yellow bottom. Here it is next to the original one. This one isn't stuffed, by the way, so maybe it would be a little bit bigger if I stuffed it. But here's the difference. Now let's see what it looks like on the plushie. Here's the bigger one. I don't know. This might look good once I get some arms on. This is another one of those things to where I feel like I need the arms done before I can tell if I completely like the foot, but then I need the arms and the legs to tell if I completely like the body, so it's all just kind of like up in the air at the moment. I can like see the vision with these though. Like they do look a little too big, but I think the arms might even them out. But we're gonna leave this for now and see what I can come up with for an arm. I made this cutesy little arm. I was going back and forth on if I wanted to add 3 fingers or 4. If you look at like a picture of him, you can see that he has like the 4 fingers, like he has the 3 and then he has like the thumb. But I did that, I added like a little thumb and it just looked wonky. I don't know, it just looked like too much. So I took it out and I think I might just play it safe and leave the 3 fingers. I feel like that just looks cute. I also did not write the pattern for this down, which is a little bit of an atrocity. But in my defense, I really thought this was like not gonna work. I thought this was gonna be ugly. I thought this would turn out terrible. Like I had no idea. Of course, but I actually think it turned out cute. I did make it a little bit more on the chunkier side to kind of go with the feet, but I don't even know what it looks like on Charmander yet. I don't know if you guys are getting the full vision with all these strings in the way. That's what the side looks like, and then that's the front. I actually think it might work with the feet because they're both kind of chunky and they kind of go with the chunky head. But of course I do need the other arm and leg on the other side to kind of get the complete vision, but as far as right now, I really like it. I think it's very cutesy and definitely the vibe I was going for. But I guess we'll go ahead and see what it looks like with the other arm and leg first. Oh my. I have this much yarn left. I have this much yarn. Are you kidding? When I first was ordering yarn for Charmander, I literally ordered like 4 or 5 skeins of this color. So I was definitely prepared initially, but then I had a custom order that required this yarn and it made me run a little bit low. So I'm just really hoping Premier will be in stock and that they ship quickly because I know they're quite often out of stock of certain colors. So unfortunately, I cannot move on at the moment because I don't have the yarn to do so. I could temporarily crochet some of the other pieces in a different color just to see like the vision, but this yarn is horrendous after frogging it. Like unusable, ugly, disgusting. I can't do that. I would be basically wasting yarn if I did that. And I was also thinking I could move on to the parts of Charmander that are different colors. Like the belly is yellow, so I could do that. However, to do that, I do need the tail done, and I don't have the tail done, and I don't have the yarn to get the tail done. And then I think the only other piece that's a different color is the flame on the tail, which I honestly don't know how I'm gonna do that yet. And also I would need the tail done to move on to that step. So we might be a little SOL at the moment. Well, actually, are Charmander and Charmeleon's tails similar? I'm about to look that up. Okay, so it does actually look like Charmander and Charmeleon's tails are quite similar. Like similar enough to where I could get away with using the same pattern for both of them, which I probably will. So actually I could crochet a tail in Charmeleon's color just to get the vision of Charmander. That would allow me to crochet the belly and also the flame on the tail. And then I can just save the tail for when I'm working on Charmeleon. Like I won't sew it on in the different color, but like I'll just like pin it on to get an idea of how I can crochet the other things. And it will also give me the idea if I like the body, the arms, the legs, you know, all of that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm gonna go ahead and work on the tail using a different colored yarn basically. Okay, so I grabbed the color that I'm gonna use for Charmeleon. It's this one right here. It's a little bit darker than Charmander because he is actually quite darker than Charmander. Charmander's like an orange and he's like an orangey red. Like he's more red than orange. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can come up with for a tail. Okay, so this is my first attempt at a tail. I realized it was like a little bit too skinny for the vibe I was going for. I like immediately just like cut and restarted. And then we have this. I do know this is a little bit thicker than how his tail normally is. His tail is usually a little bit longer and thinner. It just fits the body better. Like if I had something like skinnier and smaller, it would look weird on his like big body. Just trust me, okay? I really wish this was made in the original color because I can't tell if it's gonna work or not until I sew it on, I fear. It looks like it'll work, right? Like that looks pretty good. Like I can see the vision in my head, but I just don't know if it's gonna work until it's sewn on. So everything is still just so up in the air and I have no idea if any of it's gonna work. I guess I'll just have to wait and see along with the arms and the legs. Oh, the foot isn't even on. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and use this layout to try to make the belly. And I'm gonna sit here and ponder on how I wanna do the flame tail because I have no stinking idea. Okay, so I started making the belly and it's looking really good so far. I was using this as like a guide. It wraps all the way under the body, but once I got like towards the feet, I was kind of struggling with the idea of how far away the feet would be since I don't have both feet done. And I didn't want to keep going without knowing how like wide I needed it. So I said, screw it, let's just make an entirely different one using the shiny colors, which I know that's a little bit crazy. But I went online and saw that Premier is out of the tangerine yarn, which is what I was using for Charmander. So I had to order from a different site I've seen people order from called Hirschner's. I have no idea how long it takes for them to ship, and I am really motivated right now to work on Charmander, which I really want to take advantage of because I have not been motivated to crochet whatsoever, and this is kind of inspiring me right now.
I'm so burnt out.
So yeah, I just said screw it and I started making an entirely new Charmander. The colors aren't quite perfect. I realized after I was making the foot that the two yellows I chose are quite identical, unfortunately. You can kind of see they're different, but like they're so similar. The yellow I used definitely isn't perfect. The shiny Charmander is definitely like a tiny bit more orangey, I would say, but I just didn't have the perfect color on hand. So this is gonna have to work, okay? But yeah, I have like 5 skeins of this yellow color, which is why I went with it. It's actually the same color I'm using for the belly of the regular Charmander. But yeah, I'll probably be done with the shiny Charmander before I'm even done with the regular one. And with all this being done, I think I'm gonna call it a night and go to bed. All right, so it's the next day and I've been working all night on crocheting shiny Charmander. We've got the body, we've got the arms, the thighs, the tail, and 2 sets of feet. So I made the feet that I originally designed, and after crocheting both of them and seeing them on the body, I did realize they were a little bit too big. So I decided to go back to the drawing board and I designed 2 smaller feet. I just feel like they're a little bit more proportional and work a little bit better. But now that the feet are smaller, I'm wondering if the arms are a little bit unproportional as well. The chunky arms fit the chunky feet, but I don't know if they're vibing with the smaller feet. So here are all the pieces roughly pinned together. One of the things I'm struggling with is the arms. I don't know if I want them facing inwards or if I just want them out to the side. So this is kind of what it's looking like when the arms are on the side. This is not perfect at all, but then this is what they look like facing like inwards. I'd probably have them inwards like a smidge more. Maybe something like that, I don't know. I'm also still on the fence about the arms in general because I don't know if they're a little bit too chunky. I've also been using the orange head and just kind of like placing it on top to get an idea. I don't know. I feel like the arms look a little too chunky. I can't tell if it looks weird just because this is orange and then this is all like a pale yellow, or something's wrong with that. I really can't tell. But maybe if the arms were to the side. Part of me is wondering if the arms were a little shorter and to the side it might be cuter. I'm not sure, but I do think I'm gonna sit on this for the night and I'll come back tomorrow with some fresh eyes to make decisions then. All right, so I'm checking in on the next day and I have some updates to share. Oh my god. I was like, why is it so long? Why would I make the tail so long? It's because this was the end of my skein, so I just left it as is. Okay, so as you can see, I crocheted the shiny head and I did the face shaping. So he just needs some eyes. I kicked my cat out because I'm trying to record this and she keeps trying to chew on cords. I also finally designed the belly piece. It goes all the way from the tail down to the belly, all the way to the neck. And this is what it looks like from the side. I started sewing the feet on, but kind of stopped because I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I don't know. I kind of got a little irritated and gave up. So these aren't completely sewn on, just so you know. But the body is partly assembled. We are pretty close to finishing. I just need to crochet the flame and make the eyes and do the rest of the assembling, and then it's gonna be done. By the way, I absolutely hate the color I chose for Shiny Charmander. I knew this wasn't accurate because I don't think I really had like the most perfect Shiny Charmander color in general, but I do have some regrets. I should have used a faded orange instead of a yellow. This is like really just giving jaundice. The pale yellow just isn't it for me, but whatever. We've already committed. It's fine. I'm a little bit stuck on the tail because I feel like a smaller tail would be much more cutesy, but I'm honestly unsure about how I would execute that in this style because I do kind of like how it curls up a little bit. If I made it smaller, I just don't know. I don't know. We are super close to finishing Shiny Charmander before even getting... If I let her in, she's gonna be a menace. I'm telling you, she's gonna be a menace. I just want to update you guys about this cat being a menace. Driving me nuts. Okay. We are so close to finishing Shiny Charmander before even getting our orange yarn in the mail. Are you done? No. I swear she's usually allowed in here. She's not being tortured over here, okay? She's definitely being a little dramatic. She's just timed out from this room for the time being. It's not a big deal. Anyways, we were super close to finishing Shiny Charmander before even getting our orange yarn in the mail. I can't finish that sentence. That's my last time trying. You guys know what I said. Okay, but I actually think this might be a good thing because this will serve as like my prototype or my draft, and I can make changes based on how this looks. And that way my regular one can be edited to be perfect. And it's still going. So plan B, I also hear her ripping up the carpet. She's gonna be held hostage for the rest of this time being. The only thing left I had to say to you guys was I think that's where I'm gonna call it for the night. Look, she's so content. She just wanted so much attention. Like, are you joking? Perfectly fine. She's a big baby. Anyways, hopefully I can finish Shiny Charmander tomorrow, but I'm usually a little bit too optimistic when it comes to those things, so we'll see. This is just ridiculous. You're ridiculous. You guys will literally never guess what I just found in the bottom of a box in the corner of my craft room. Nope, these are not new. These are old. I ordered these months ago because I knew I was running low in the orange. I've had these the entire time. I literally did not need to make this. And yeah, update, I'm pretty much done. The only thing I have left to do is a flame on the tail. And I did not need to make this one at all. I just cannot believe that. Anyways, here's Charmander. I think I'm satisfied with this design. I think that I'll crochet the orange one the same exact way. All I have to do now is design the flame on the tail. I know yesterday I said I hope I finish today. I don't think I'm gonna do the flame on the tail tonight. I think that's a tomorrow problem. Another day, another Charmander update. So I got my 4 new skeins of Parfait, Chunky, and Tangerine. And I also finished Shiny Charmander. It's really upsetting that I could be working on Charmeleon right now instead. But honestly, it's time to get over it and just lock in and try to finish regular Charmander as fast as I can. I did come to the conclusion that I do like the layout and design of my Shiny Charmander. So I'm gonna make my regular Charmander the exact same way. Oh yeah, I didn't give you guys a glimpse of how I did the tail, but this is how the flame looks. It took me like 3 attempts to be satisfied with it. I don't really know how I feel about it, but I don't know, we're gonna stick with it. For some reason, the yellow yarn was a bit more stiff to work with than the orange yarn. And I don't know if you guys run into this, but whenever I'm working with like a stiffer, more rough yarn, it makes my tension so much looser. Like I can't get my usual tight tension. So obviously that makes like the pieces bigger if your tension isn't as tight. So the yellow pieces are definitely turning out slightly larger. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the yellow was definitely slightly larger. Okay, but anyways, my point is that I crocheted regular Charmander's belly in this yellow color. So this yellow belly turned out slightly larger than this belly, so I had to deduct a few rounds. So the reason I'm saying that is like basically that's like one of the things I changed. I changed the height of the belly. And then I also added some color changing onto the feet. Everything else is gonna be the same. So to give you guys an idea of everything I finished, I have the body done, I have the belly done, and the tail done, and they're all sewed together as you can see. As you've already seen a bunch, I have the head done. We've got the 2 thighs. I just showed you the 2 feet. And then I have the hands done too. So what I have left to do is I have to add the toenails onto the feet, and I also have to crochet the flame. Apart from that, I just have to assemble everything else and then I'll be all done. I am feeling a little bit tired tonight though, so I think I'm gonna save all of that for tomorrow. I do think I can finish it tomorrow. I do. Well, actually no. I have something going on tomorrow. I am still gonna try to get it done tomorrow though. We'll see. It is officially time to finish Charmander. We're gonna start by sewing the thighs on. I already have them pinned down and ready to go. Here's what the thighs look like all sewn on. Now we're just gonna crochet the toenails. Here are the feet with the toes. They're super cute. Here's a little close-up. If you notice my shirt getting increasingly fuzzy as the night goes on, don't worry about it. That's just what happens when you work with this kind of yarn. If you know, you know. Now we're just gonna sew the feet onto the body. I have the feet all sewn on. That's literally my most hated part. I hate sewing the feet on, mostly because it's a completely closed off piece, so I have to like sew this completely closed off piece onto another completely closed off piece. I don't know if that makes any sense. As a chronic perfectionist, it just makes it really hard. Now we're gonna go ahead and sew the head onto the body. You're looking a smidge wonky, but here's the head sewn onto the body. Next, we're gonna go ahead and sew the arms on. Here are the arms all sewed on. The last thing I have to do is the flame, but I don't even have that crocheted yet. yet, so I do have to crochet the flame, and that is what I'm gonna do next. You have no idea how excited I am that I just finished the flame, because now I'm on to the very last step, which is to sew the flame onto the tail. Look at who's all finished. This challenge was pretty interesting considering we got 2 Charmanders out of it on accident, but I guess at the end of the day, I don't regret it because look at them. How cute. For some reason, I can't help but to think that they look really boring, and I can't really put my finger on it. I mean, I'm not gonna go back and change anything now, but for some reason, they just look boring. They're kind of giving boring, like plain. Maybe it's just because the last one I made was Venusaur and he was very exciting and had a lot of details. Hopefully I can make Charmeleon and Charizard a little bit more interesting than this. And I was also thinking these aren't really giving like super baby vibes. I mean, a little bit. I feel like they kind of look a little bit like standard Charmander. I feel like I could have went a little bit more cutesy with it. I really want to get a move on with this challenge because this is only my 4th one done and it's probably been like a year since I started it, which is insane. I know. I gotta get a move on. My New Year's goal is to finish more of these. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of delay with our yarn struggles, but I'm hoping this year we can get a little further. Let me know what number you hope that I reach at the end of 2025. I'm gonna go for Wigglytuft, which I think is number 40. That means I have to crochet what, like 36 more this year. actually thinking about how many weeks there are in a year, I actually don't think that's possible. It literally takes me like at least a few weeks to get one of these down, especially if I write the pattern for it. I originally was just gonna release like the writing of the patterns, like no pictures, like not much explanation. But then I was like, everyone's gonna think like my patterns suck because I'm not releasing like a good quality pattern. So when I do release a pattern for these Pokemon, I really do want some pictures at least for assembly to give you guys an idea of like how the heck to make it, because sometimes I do like confusing things. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I don't. In my brain, I feel like maybe I'm being confusing. I don't know, but I do want to supply some guidance and I don't want to confuse you at all and have you waste your yarn, your supplies, your time, and then be really upset. Like, I don't know. So it takes me extra long if I do release a pattern, which I kind of did want to release a pattern for Charmander because it is kind of simple a little bit, but there's just no way I have motivation right now to crochet another Charmander after these 2. I do need to take a little break from Pokemon or I'm gonna lose my mind. So I might start Charmeleon in like a couple weeks. I think I might want to make like a teddy bear, to be honest. Something simple and cute. And just take a break from the Pokemon. So yeah, moral of the story is take breaks, guys. It's okay. And I hope you guys understand. Anyways, that's enough yapping. All we have to do now is check him off on the Pokemon poster. But it is 1:40 in the morning right now and I'm a bit tired and want to get ready for bed. So I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. But guys, it's the next day. I officially made our Pokeball. Let's cross Charmander off the list. Yay! We've got 4 done and 147 more to go. Me and Charmander want to thank you so much for watching this episode. I am so excited to have him done. We're getting there slowly but surely. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this episode of the 151 Pokemon Challenge. I'm very excited to make Charmeleon and even more excited to crochet Charizard. So make sure to stay tuned for those. Bye guys!